The void was silent, save for the low hum of the Iron Hand's battle barge, Feryx, its hull scarred from decades of war, but ever unyielding. Captain Cardan Stronus stood on the bridge, his gaze locked on the stars through the viewpoint. His bionic hand twitched, as if sensing the coming threat long before the sensors could register it. "Brother Captain," the voice of Chief Tech Marine Hector cracked from the comms. "We've detected anomalies in the subspace, a fleet moving at impossible speeds. It is Necron." Dronos' mechanical fingers clenched around the cold steel of his command throne. "Alert the fleet. Prepare for battle." The Feryx had only just emerged from the warp, its engine sputtering slightly after the strain of the journey, but before the captain could even give the order to accelerate, the sensors screamed. 3 incoming ships, unidentified. Their signatures are not of this galaxy. The warp itself seemed to warp around the Necron ship as they materialized, massive and monolithic, like dark shards of some ancient and cursed reality. Their hulls were covered in cryptic hieroglyphs that glowed faintly with a sickly green light. The ships did not hail, they did not communicate. They merely descended upon the Feryx, their weapons charging with alien pulse. "Brace for impact," Stronus ordered coldly, his voice betraying no fear, only readiness. "Brothers, battle stations." In the void, the Iron Hand ships answered the call, their weapons flaring to life in coordinated fury. The first salvo from the Necron fleet hit, sending a ripple of energy through the ship's systems. The shield generators groaned, struggling to maintain integrity under the assault. "Ships holding at 50%, Hector reported. "Not enough," Stronus muttered, his mind already calculating the odds, assessing the battle like a machine, like the Iron Hands had been trained to do. "Target their engines, disable them. We will not retreat." The Feryx fired back, but the Necron vessel seemed to absorb the hits. A second volley of Necron fire struck the Feryx's hull, sending explosive decompressions across the lower decks. The Iron Hands were nothing if not resilient, and the void-filled halls rang with the sounds of armored warriors rushing in to defend the ship. As the Necron ships moved in, vast and implacable, their lances of green energy tore through the void, carving massive gashes in the Feryx's hull. Crew members screamed in agony over the Vox as sections of the battle barge was engulfed in explosions. On the bridge, Stronus barely flinched as the ship groaned under the assault. His bionic eye narrowed, and he surveyed the tactical displays. It was a losing battle, he knew this, but surrender was an anathema to the Iron Hands. To relent before the Necrons was to dishonor the Emperor's will. "Deploy the Terminators," Stronus ordered. "We will board them." A cold silence fell over the bridge. The crew knew what this meant. The Iron Hands would fight to the last man until nothing was left but the wreckage of their enemies. It was the only way. Within moments, the Void Assault Force was in position, drop pods launching from the Feryx to engage the Necron warships up close. Dronos led the charge, his power armor a seamless extension of his bionic limbs, moving with the grace of a killing machine. He knew the Necron, their ancient relentless drive to conquer, but the Iron Hands were their equal, hardened by centuries of war. The drop pods smashed into the hulls of the Necron ship, their adamantine hulls screeching against the alien metal. Stronus and his brothers burst forth, bolters and power fists in hand. The Necron warriors, ancient skeletal figures in shimmering armor, were already waiting for them, their glowing eyes fixed on the invaders. The battle ravaged in the halls of the alien vessel, the Iron Hands fighting with mechanical precision, tearing through the Necron warriors with brutal efficiency. But for every Necron that fell, 2 more seemed to appear in their place. Stronus' thoughts were clear, his focus absolute. He could not win this fight by strength alone. He had to outthink them, outlast them. He fought his way towards the heart of the ship, where the central tomb complex was likely hidden. If he could disable the ship's power core, perhaps the Necron fleet would fall into disarray. But as he made his way through the halls, the eerie metallic voice of the Necron overlord echoed in the air, a voice that seemed to speak directly into his mind. "You cannot destroy what is eternal. We have waited for eons, and now you are but dust in our path. Stronos paused, his mind briefly clouded by the alien words. Yet with a snarl, he raised his power fist and crushed the nearest Necron skull, shaking off the hesitation. "Then we will make you wait no longer," he said, his voice as cold as the void. "Iron hands do not yield." He pressed onwards, but despite his determination, the battle was slipping away. All his brothers were falling one by one, overwhelmed by the tide of the Necron warriors. Stronos realized that not even the Iron Hands could hold the line forever. With a final command, he ordered his fleet to retreat, his pride stung but his will unbroken. The Feryx began to warp, its engine sputtering as the surviving Iron Hands warriors limped back to their vessels. The Necron fleet loomed in the distance, an unyielding presence that would haunt the Iron Hands for years to come. But for now, the Iron Hands had lost the battle, but Stronos knew that they would not lose the war. And one day, the Necrons would feel the iron fist of the Iron Hands once more. And with that being said, guys, this was just a short story to get us pumped because we will be starting a narrative campaign pretty soon. Right now, we've got 4 people playing. We've got the Space Marines that I will be playing as the Iron Hands, a completely new Primaris army that I've been working on for the past couple of months. I will be posting pictures probably, if not on the community page here on YouTube, they'll be over on our Twitter page, so you guys can check that out. We also have Gersh1 also playing Space Marines, but this time of the Imperial Fists, so that will be another Space Marine crew. However, they will be at odds with a little bit of narrative played in there as to why 2 Space Marines who are seemingly loyalists are going against each other. We also have the Necron player, and we have the last person playing the wild card in the Death Guard. So we have Chaos, Necrons, and 2 Space Marines that are going to be playing out this campaign. The only question I have for you guys is that there have been a few reiterations of how this crusade works, whether it's the Tyrannic Crusade. I believe there's one in 8th edition that we played that was pretty fun, but maybe there's other rules, other campaign and crusade rules that you guys know would be pretty fun to try out. Also let us know if you guys want to stay updated on how our crusade ends up going. But for now, that's all I got for today, guys. Just a little bit of lore in this short story of the Iron Hands taking on the Necrons. Hopefully it goes better for me since I will be playing the Iron Hands here, and they kind of got their butt kicks in the short story. But again, let me know if there's anything crusade-wise that you want us to make sure we look into. Like I said, the Tyrannic War Veteran Crusade seems to be the most recent stuff, but if there's other reiterations of that, please let us know. So again, guys, thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you then. Peace.
Oh, if you could put my freedom back.